Hello and welcome to January 15th, where we'll be reading Genesis 34 through 36. Now, today's reading covers just a couple of stories, and they're not particularly pleasant. Tomorrow's will not be pleasant either, but today's is equally or even more so unpleasant. Basically, Jacob had one daughter. Her name was Dinah, and she got taken by somebody else. And so, in response, two of his sons murder a bunch of people. Kind of understandable, definitely understandable. Maybe not the most merciful, but an understandable reaction. As a result, Jacob has to move. His wife Rachel dies, and ultimately, we get a genealogy of Esau's family in chapter 36 as well. If you want a more detailed breakdown of each chapter, well, suffice it to say, for 34, you can ask me in person, or there are a couple notes written out on the page. Nothing huge because it's an unpleasant chapter that we don't talk much about for a reason. Suffice it to say, Simeon and Levi murder a bunch of people. They are violent men, and so that will come back to haunt them in the end of Genesis, but we'll reference that when we get there, which will be quite a while. Genesis 35 records God coming down and telling Jacob to leave. They've caused enough physical trouble. People of the land are starting to hate them. And so he says, hey, Jacob, you need to move and go somewhere else. Rachel dies on the way. Rachel dies as they're traveling, and she is also buried as they're traveling. It seems that Jacob did not care that much about Rachel in the end after all. Perhaps it was all the terrible things she did because she was kind of a terrible person, as has been previously mentioned. And lastly, in Genesis 36, there is a final genealogy about Edom, Esau. His family becomes Edom, and Edom will have a sibling rivalry with the people of Israel from here on out. I don't know too much about that. I'm not going to be able to talk intelligently on every aspect of that conflict, and so forgive me if I kind of pass over that, but I don't personally know much about Genesis 36. Regardless, if you found that helpful, hopefully that's useful to you. There are written notes over on the written page if you're interested in that, and if not, I'll see you tomorrow, January 16th, where we're reading Genesis 37 through 39. See you then.